I have 10 exercises for you that are going to explore two concepts. One is keeping your spine perfectly still. So, if you want to focus on keeping your body completely stable, then you can move another body part and nothing else in your body is going to move. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum is controlled spine movement. And so, we're going to look at that as well to help us see the difference between those two. You're going to need a couple things. One is a TheraBand, and I have mine attached low, and later we'll have it attached high. So if you put a knot in the end of your TheraBand and then put it in the door jamb by the hinge, close the door, then you can put it at whatever height you want and it's easily adjustable. You'll also need a weight of some sort. So I have an 8-pound dumbbell. You could use like a 5-pound bag of sugar or flour, and a can of beans might be two options. You may want to have a light and a medium option. This is definitely going to be on the heavy end for some of the things, but it'll be fine. And let's get started. So we want to start by thinking about our core, and we're going to come back to that for every single exercise. Join me down on your hands and knees. If at any point your knees get a little cranky, you may want to put a towel under there or just take a break. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, push the ground away, and take a moment and connect with your abs. It may help to also think of pushing your knees into the ground, maybe even thinking of sliding them outwards, like you had a TheraBand around your knees that you're trying to put a little tension into. But nothing is literally moving, just creating tension. Now, without moving anything in your body, except for one arm, can you tap the opposite shoulder? And then return, put pressure through that arm, return to that nice stable foundation we had at the beginning. Switch sides. If you put a really delicate glass of wine on your back, could you keep it there without spilling a drop? Notice how your abs have to adjust and accommodate to keep your body perfectly still. If this is feeling pretty easy, you want a tougher challenge, step back to a plank. Same concept, start off by pushing the floor away, finding your abs, making sure your body's in a nice long line, and then try to tap your shoulder without moving your body. Now, in a plank, it's pretty darn hard to not move your body. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I certainly am not great at it. But try to move less than you might normally do if you weren't focused on it, and be as stable as possible. If your feet are a little wider, that'll be easier. If they're narrow, it'll be much harder. All right, come on down, shake out those wrists. Anytime your wrist gets tired, you could try one of these stretches, shake it out. Come on down to a forearm plank. Okay, we're going to give you a couple options here. No matter what option you choose, we need to really push through your shoulder, glide your shoulder down away from the ear, and lift the underside of your torso with your abs. So option one, stay on your hips. Option two, push your hips forward and find a nice straight line, knees, hips, shoulders, and head. You might want to even think of tucking that chin in. Option three, stretch your feet out. And it's a little easier if the top leg is forward, or you can stack them up. So I'm going to come down to my knees so I can talk a little easier. Hips forward, core tight. Reach your free arm up to the ceiling. Now the goal is to keep your spine stable. So lower the arm, lift the arm. Lower and lift. Now this may seem like a pretty simple movement. Can you keep your torso perfectly still? Are your hips perfectly still? One more time. Other side. Let's set up side two. So push through your shoulder. Shoulder is away from your ear. Hips forward. You're going to find that core. Or go ahead and stretch your legs out if you like the harder version. From here, lift your arm and lower in front of you and return. If you like a little more challenge, grab a light weight, maybe a can of beans or a 3 or 4 pound weight at most, to add a little more rotational challenge. If you didn't have your core working, then your body would be wobbling a little bit more all over the place. All right, roll those shoulders. I'm gonna do a couple more side plank variations and then no more side planks today. So coming back to your side plank, if you can, let's come to the straight legs. You can certainly do any of the other variations as well. Top leg, swing it forward, swing it back, swing it forward, swing it back. Do 3 more. Are you able to keep everything still, especially as you go back? Don't let your spine arch. All right, and then you can either stay with your feet staggered. I'm going to come to my knees, medium intensity. Let's add a rotation. So thread and look down and under your body. Come back up, stacking your shoulders up again. So in contrast to what we've been doing, now your spine is rotating, but in a very controlled manner. 2 more. Can you twist a little farther this time? How does it make your shoulder feel? It should be pretty challenged by this. Other side. All right, you can stay on your hip or knees or come up to your feet for the super challenge. And then wherever you are, kick forward and back. Forward and back. Your shoulder is stable and working really hard. Your abs are lifting. Your hips are working crazy hard. All right, next is the threads and needles. So choose which side plank version you'd like to be in. You can even do it down here with your hips on the floor. Okay, here we go. Thread, return. That shoulder away from your ear. Thread, return. Got 3 more. Thread, return, thread, return. Last one, make it big. Reach underneath, return. Roll your shoulders out, shake out your arms. Okay, you're gonna need your weight now. Join me on your back. Do a little abs on the floor. Take a moment and feel your back grounded and settled on the ground. You may even want to do a little tilt towards you and get a little more lower ab contraction, which is different from that neutral pelvis we've been talking about. So there is a little bit of a groundedness through your lower back in this position. Grab your weight, reach overhead. A bag of sugar would do just fine. And then lift one leg up to tabletop. Add the second leg, squeeze them together. In this movement called a pullover, only your arms and shoulders are going to move. So slowly lower your arms overhead and then pull it right back up. Now the goal is to keep your lower back stable on the ground. So feel your back on the floor, and then can you keep it there as your arms reach? I'd rather you keep the movement smaller rather than allowing your spine to move. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. Okay, keep on breathing. We're going to inhale back, exhale up. All right, I'm going to do a little upper cervical nod. So just kind of look down towards your chest. The back of your neck should be long. Front of your neck is active. Use your abs to curl your chest up off the floor. Shoulder blades down. Now only move your legs. Extend your legs out and then tuck those knees back in. Extend out, Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. Two more in. If you need to put your head down or support your hands with your head instead of holding the weight, feel free. Place your feet on the floor. Reach with your weight and roll back up. If you have a light weight, it still can be pretty hard. With my 8 pounds, it makes it much, much more easy and achievable. So let's try that again. Reach the arms forward. They can certainly be low if it feels really heavy. And then use that weight to help you counterbalance and round through your spine. Notice how it feels to articulate through your spine now compared to keeping your body super stable for the other exercises prior to here. Roll back up. Two more, roll it down. Roll up one bone at a time and roll it down. Okay, come all the way back up. Come onto your knees and we'll use the weight in just a moment, so keep it nearby. On your knees and kneeling, I would like you to take a moment, check out your posture. We tend to arch the back in this position, so go ahead and try to pull your body back over your hips and stack the ribs over your pelvis. Find your abs. Keep them engaged as you lift up to your knees, which is called tall kneeling. In this position, do you feel length in your lower back? You may feel a lot of stretch in your quads, especially if they tend to be on the tight side. That's going to make it hard to lengthen your back. So take a moment, find that. All right, let's move between these two positions. So sit back towards your heels, come back up to tall kneeling. Check your posture. Sit back. Do you still have good posture? And come back up. So as you move, there may be a little bit of this leaning forward. Totally fine, kind of like a squat. But then as you come up, push your hips forward, find that neutral position. One more time. All right, grab your weight and hold it in one arm, come all the way up to that tall kneeling position. Keep your posture as good as you can keep it as you reach overhead. And come back down. Does the weight make you want to twist or side bend or arch or flex? Or can you move your arm without moving anything else in your body? One more time. Switch arms. Check in with your posture and make sure you're still breathing too. Press it up. Bring it down. Press up. Keep those ribs in place. Bring it on down. Press up. Control it down. Press up and down. Last one. All right, let's get off those knees. Don't need that weight for now. Come on back up. Okay, let's review the hip hinge. Soft knees. Sit your hips back as you bow forward. Come back up. It's going to be a really small bowing motion. Emphasis on the hips going back. Let's do this on just one leg. So I'm going to tap one foot just beside my base leg. And then do this exact same movement. Hinge, come back up. If this feels plenty challenging, just stay here. The more crazy version is like an airplane going off track. So we're going to sit back, and then if you'd like to, you can even lift your foot off the floor or keep it on the floor, your choice. But that free side is going to dip down, pivot towards your base leg, and come back up to neutral. Your base hip should be working crazy hard. So if that was pretty wobbly, put your foot back down, pivot towards your base leg, come back up. So my whole body is moving together on top of this hip that is really allowing me to pivot into it, then is pushing me back out. Pivot down. It may help to think of pushing your big toe into the floor to come back to neutral. You can always put your hands on your hips if you don't need that extra cueing of the arms. One more time. Ah, all right. Let's check out side two. Tap your foot beside you. Sit your hips back into that hinge. Optional, one leg balance. Optional, arms out like for funsies. And then pivot towards your base leg. Come back up. So the glutes of my base hip are stretching as I pivot down and then contracting and shortening as I come back up. All the while my spine is moving as one solid piece. This is great for golf. And that strong foundation that's also mobile. One more time. All right, shake it out. That one's tough. All right, we're in the home stretch. Grab your TheraBand and have it attached low in your door frame or some other type of railing. And then come down to kneeling with the outside knee up. If your knee is tired of kneeling on the floor, you can always do a upright kneel. It'll be just as good, with the exception that you're not going to get as much feedback from the floor about how steady your legs are. So I'm going to grab my band, pull some tension into the front of my body, and then sort of grab it like you might a baseball bat. And then with both hands down and low, you're then going to pull them up and across. Meanwhile, my spine is twisting. Arms are low, and then arms are high. Slowly control it back to the start. So feel the twist of your spine as you pull away, and then use those same muscles to control the return. Are you able to move your spine pretty fluidly into this rotation? If you notice any like stiff or chunky spots, go a little slower through those bits so that you can smooth it out. One more time. All right, same thing, but other side. Turn around and put the outside leg up in front of you. Choke up on the band as much as you need to. Grab like a baseball bat, and then pull up as you twist. Come back down. So your legs are not moving at all in this movement. Your spine is rotating, and the shoulders and arms are going for a ride up and away. Let's do 4 more. Up and reach. Slowly down. Up and reach. Slowly down. Up and reach. Slowly down. Last one. Up and reach. Slowly down. All right, last exercise. Move your band up to about shoulder or eye level. Okay. And then joining back on the floor. Same exact movement, but now we're going to pull from high to low. So, got my band, got lots of tension on it. Pull across and down, slowly back up. And repeat. Pull across, slowly back up. So as you continue, notice how your feet feel on the floor. So my front foot, I have my big toe on the ground, my pinky toe, and my heel. On my back foot, I do have it flat. You can certainly tuck your toes under if you'd prefer. And I'm lifting tall through my base, leg, and hip. 2 more. Pull across. Ease it up. Pull across and easy up. I'm going for about 8 each side. Okay, turn to do side 2. Outside leg up. Grab your band. Stack everything up super tall with good posture. Pull across and down. Come back up. Sort of like grabbing your seatbelt and then clicking it in. So these exercises might feel a little weird, but they're actually movements that we do frequently in life, like perhaps grabbing a dish out of the sink and putting it in the dishwasher. Not exactly the same, but hopefully you can get the idea and see the similarities here. There's definitely lots of sports-specific similarities with like throwing a ball. Let's do 2 more. And last one. All right, come on up to standing. Take a moment and see how you feel. Hopefully you feel connected in your core. And if there were any body parts that felt a little stiff, tight, inflexible before, check it out now after doing these movements. I know my sticky shoulder feels a little bit better. Check out maybe how does your head turn. If it feels a lot stiffer, that might be telling you that you had a lot of tension in your neck while you were exercising. Maybe you weren't breathing well. To go back and think about those things. See if your hips or back feel any looser. And if so, then core stability functional exercise is something that you should probably work into your at least weekly routine to keep making good progress.